All still getting there. I can see one, two. The Jeep one from the last well. She's putting down best. Think about this.
G'day, punters. Welcome back to the MacBet Saturday Racing Review Show. I'm your host, James Milner, and joining me is Tommy Henjak. Tom, you steered the ship on Saturday with John off doing the birdie comp. Managed to grind out a pretty good result.
Yep. Back on a dry track at Eagle Farm, and we've got a few weeks of dry track like data behind us now, so we can really trust the ratings going onto these dry tracks. So yeah, it was good to have a good day out at Eagle Farm and also down the Goldie.
Absolutely, yeah, love to see it. We risked about 12 units at Eagle Farm, got about 19 back with a profit of 7.2 units, which is a very, very good result for us. And Gold Coast, we just lost for the day, but a little bit unlucky there with a couple of close results, especially late.
Yeah, I think there was,
like huge.
yeah, there was some close seconds at fucking Eagle Farm as well. I think there was
Yep.
one where I had 2 units on the Laxon runner that's so dapper, and it got run down on the post by Blacklog, which was a bit frustrating. And then
Wendy Peel.
yeah, the strength of banana peel. And then in the last, I think I had the unit on indiscreetly, and that was Michael Kyle gave it a really good steer from the wide gate. He ended up one out, one pair back, and when he got into that position, I was licking my lips only to get run down by Hot Spring Gold. So it could have been an absolutely fat day, but happy to take a pretty good profit in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. And just recapping some of the other bets we had 4 units on Mashani Renegade in the first, $2.80 is price recorded. I know there was $3 available for a few hours there. So hopefully anyone shopping around got that. And we did send it out free in our Discord as well. So it pays to be in there, guys, if you're not already. But the race we're going to take a look at was race 2. You've had 2 units on highlights. You took Betfair SP. It was $2.50 in the morning. Do you maybe want to outline why you thought the market was going to go against it a bit?
Yeah, so I felt like doing the race on the Thursday, had a really good handle on the race and my kind of thoughts on how the market might play out. So Smitzer, the Van Dyke runner, it went up favourite originally. And then there was all this support for highlights leading up to the Saturday, and it just kind of bottomed out of that $2.50 in the morning. I thought I definitely had it on top. I think I priced it around $2.50 mark, but I just thought there might be a bit of resistance there with, I think Smitzer was just getting out a little bit too far. And even though I didn't like the horse, I could definitely see support for it. Like it had strung a few wins together. Even though I thought they were low wins, the market was still going to have it there because it was going to get an easy lead in front, and Handel's Eagle Farm was going to roll to the front with Ben Thompson. The Van Dyke stable's flying at the moment. So it was always going to be somewhat hard in the market. It wasn't going to blow too much.
Yeah.
And the other one that was going to probably stay firm was Rations. It had really good form last preparation over further, but it was third up on the 7-day backup and was going to get a nice run from the low draw. So those 2 horses were going to always stay in the market, and I just thought that meant Highlights was going to drift out a little, which is why I elected to take the late price.
All right. Well, let's get your thoughts, a little bit more detailed review of each runner here in race 2. Okay, race 2 is the one we're doing a review of here. Like I said before, we've had 2 units on highlights in the morning. It BSP'd around the 360 mark, so good shopping there. It's in the red silks there, the number 1 runner.
Yep. So on paper, there didn't look a whole lot of speed. So those horses drawn inside were going to be at a big advantage. This Highlights was rock hard fit, 5th up, dropping back from the 1800. We've seen it at Doomben in a class 3 where Angela was actually on it 3 starts ago. That was a pretty strong class 3, and she was caught wide the trip and did an unbelievable job to stick on. And then went to a benchmark 75 at Eagle Farm over 1800 with Michael Carl from the wide gate. They just went backwards, and it ran home in good sectionals in a pretty strong race. And then it came back in distance here, but with the lower gate and the claimer on it, they were probably always going to elect to go forward. And she just gets the nice sit here in the second pair, on the fence. And she just stalks this kind of lead speed led by Freedom Avenue in the green and the blue, where they go about even and they just sprint home quick. Smites is the one outside it in the Maccabi Diva colours, the blue jacket with the red and white Cap. As I said before, it always mapped to get a good lead, good position, outside the leader, but the form lines behind it I thought were pretty weak. Like it had a small margin at Eagle Farm over 1,500 to Irukandji 2 starts ago, and then it won a Class 1 at Caloundra, where it only beat a horse called Carneros, who ended up falling in at Ipswich, albeit a little bit unlucky. But I just thought that was a pretty weak form line. So I was happy to take on Smites, or even if it was going to have favours. The other two who are kind of in the market were Wallers too. I'll start off with this Tahinga. I think it was about $8 out to 18, and even though it's 3 wide here in the purple, the maroon and the yellow cap with Larry Cassidy on, it ends up finishing last. It doesn't really find much under pressure, and I don't think it's much of a horse. Wouldn't be surprised to see it on English Digital anytime soon. I wouldn't be forgiving it for this run. I just don't think it has a lot of ticker. And the other one's Green Flash. It's probably, I'm not sure what they're going to do with this horse. It's in the green and red, the old egg tart colours. It always mapped to get back on a soft tempo, so I was happy to be against it because it doesn't have a lot of tactical speed, but it gets on the back of the stablemate there and doesn't really find much under pressure. And there's a horse outside it called Reflecting Image running home in similar sectionals who doesn't have a whole lot of ability either. So the 2 Waller runners, albeit unlucky, I don't think they got a whole lot of quality about them. The only danger, which was Rations, that's one I put half unit on, and it's going to be my black booker of the meeting, because I do think this was a strong Class 3 winner in second. It was only third up here, and I think 1,800 meters next start in 2 weeks. It'll be a horse winning some races as preparation. It resumed first up over 1350 and just wasn't ready in unsuitable conditions. Went to Eagle Farm last start where I black booked it. Did a really good job to finish second in a strong benchmark 70, and it does a good job here to run behind Highlights, who I think is a pretty smart horse for distance races up here. So Rations, thank God Andrew was able to lift Highlights past it, but Rations is the one I'll be taking out of the race.
All right. So, yes, it was a great day out at Eagle Farm on Saturday. Managed to pick up 7 units profit in total. Tom, what's your 2 runners to follow out of the meeting?
So the race that we just reviewed, race 2, it's going to be Rations stepping up in distance in 2 or 3 weeks' time, wherever it goes. It's definitely Metro ability, and just like the way it's returned this preparation, it's ready to do something now that it's rock hard fit. And the other one's going to come out of race 6. I'm going to choose Zingalong. It was tricky to choose one out of this race because I think it was a pretty strong Class 3 over the 1,000 meters. I just like the way Zingalong's returned here. He didn't have to lead. He took the sit over the 1,000 meters with 57.5. He didn't quite look fully wound up in the yard, so I like the improvement he's going to take out of this. They went hard in front, and he's done a really good job to fight off some pretty smart horses around him, albeit coming second, because I think the winner's pretty smart. This Deep Rouge trialled real good, but I think Zingalong, I love his racing pattern. He can be winning more races this preparation.
All right, that's our review of Eagle Farm. We've got a massive week ahead of us here in Southeast Queensland. We've got Ipswich Wednesday, Gatton Thursday. Are we covering that one, Tom? There's no...
Yep, we're doing Gatton on Thursday, yep.
Yep, we've got Ipswich Wednesday, Gatton Thursday, a little bit of a bonus there. We got Sunshine Coast Friday night, Doomben and Gold Coast on Saturday, and the usual Sunshine Coast on Sunday. So plenty of racing action ahead. We're having a little bit of a run there after Saturday, so we're looking to back that up with a few more winners, guys. And if you want our information, head to macbet.com.au or join the Discord from the link in the description here. Great spot where you can chat with our community of punters. The chat was going off on the weekend, and maybe grab a few free tips there as well, which is good.
Yep.
Excellent. All right, Tom. Well, thanks for your time, mate, and good luck this week.
Sweet. Thanks, James.
Cheers.